Golden Child is it's the best script I've ever read. And it was something I got excited about. And that's very rare. Usually there's this big process where you go and you say, okay, this would be good if you change that. That's what was so hard about finding a director for the picture. I was happy with the way it was, so we went through all this stuff till we found somebody that felt the same way, and Michael Ritchie came along.
It's an enormously complex picture, and that's what attracted me to the script, because it is many kinds of movies all rolled into one.
The thing that I can look back on about Golden Child when I first wrote it was a memory of having read, when I was much younger, a book about Tibet, in which it explained the way that the Dalai Lama was found. And they would search the countryside for children who were born at about the same time, and they would bring them to this main temple. And they would proffer certain articles that had belonged to the former reincarnation. And the child would choose out among them. And it was a test, and the successful child was chosen as the Dalai Lama.
A child has been kidnapped.
When?
5 days ago in northeastern Tibet.
Well, Tibet's a little bit out of my territory.
It's about this guy who's living this normal life, and this person comes and says, you're the chosen one who's been chosen to save the world. And he's like, really?
And who's that?
You, Mr. Jarrell.
My character throughout the whole picture is reluctant to go on this journey.
Does that happen a lot where you're from?
He starts to slowly believe what this woman's telling him. The strong contrast in the film is Charlotte's character, Keenan, is this mystical, magical person. And my character is this guy with strong common sense, solving like an illogical thing with logic, and it's a nice contrast.
The character, Keenan, she's not so Tibetan, really. She's been educated around the world. She's a very cosmopolitan young lady, very intelligent young lady, very witty young lady. Very much my own character, actually. We were very much alike. The way she'd answer Eddie is the way I'd answer somebody. I was just lucky. I am her. I wasn't acting her.
Stay on the path.
You got it. I'm so afraid of the dark.
The cement really is Eddie. So I try to set up situations and antagonists that he can play off in an amusing and smart aleck kind of way.
Get your monkey off my back.
Eddie Murphy's involvement made the script, which was not written with any particular comedy,
Just the writing would
much
be enough,
funnier.
that they'd need to augment it with something else.
Or what?
Or the child will project himself astrally.
I'm a comedian first and foremost. I'm a stand-up comedian. And I've never considered myself an actor. So when I do a film, I don't become Chandler Gerald, and I don't become the character in the film. That's my name, but I think pretty much the audience too, if they're coming to see the picture, I'm Eddie Murphy in the film.
He's such a friendly person, so it was very easy for us to act together. There was something between us. Good kisser. Was fun. Let's do it again. Take 20.
Is that a bed?
I fall in love with Charlotte in the picture, and we get married, it's so nice, and we walk off in the sunset then.
Charlotte's terrific. I mean, considering that she's only done one picture before and came out of the modeling world and is as young as she is, she has the technique as well as the camera savvy of somebody who's been in the business 20 years.
Dennis Feldman came up with a lot of different and scary bad guys in this picture. Because it's not just your ordinary bad guy. It's like this guy, the Sardo Numsa, he's like the devil.
I'm willing to make an exchange. I will trade the child for the Yanti dagger.
Sardo is the devil, really, or the devil's representative on Earth. The business of playing this part is high camp villainy. I've played really quite nasty characters before, but this sort of romp, which is what this is, and there are masses of special effects in it, and I transform from the human being that I appear to be into a really horrid creature, and it's great fun.
I can see you're busy right now.
Come back some other time.
Eddie doesn't like to rehearse too much. I don't, as a matter of fact, either. But he allows his own personality to come through. I think Eddie puts as much of Eddie Murphy as he can into a part. He works in a very creative, spontaneous way.
All right, it's legit. You want to print the 8 camera?
Michael's constantly like editing, and he doesn't waste shots, and he's real easygoing. Like, you don't feel like he's pushing you, and his direction's usually right on the point. When he tells you, when he gives you a suggestion, you usually like, yeah, that's good. He's real good, easygoing, nice director. I like him a lot.
Good.
Well, Michael Ritchie, he's a very intelligent man, and I have total respect for him as a director. He said the nicest thing to me. He said, my best compliment is if I don't have to direct you anymore. I know, I'm secure that you know your character.
Mike actually tends to give me quite a lot of space, you know, to work in, and free rein, really. And he takes the helm of the ship, as it were, and steers it very well and very smoothly. He's great. I mean, I've never worked with anybody who's quite so on the ball as Mike Ritchie is, you know.
Dear brother, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah, you're wonderful.
Just what else did you tell him?
I told him next time I saw him I wasn't going to be as polite.
You are foolhardy, aren't you?
Well, I do my best.
This is the temple of the Gompen Tama of Tibet, the Golden Child. This magnificent structure has been recreated on stage 32 at Paramount Studios in Hollywood, California. You want to be able to recreate the temples and the things as they exist in Tibet and Nepal. And so we embarked on a very ambitious program to do that.
Kathmandu is the gateway to Tibet.
There's bulls and shit walking around here.
And Michael Ritchie insisted that we go to Nepal, go and take a look over there for possible location, second unit. I mean, I lived there for about 2.5, 3 weeks. So I came back with a wealth of information, besides photographs and sketches and notes, which helped us keep an authenticity throughout the piece. What's authentic? It's the magic of taking the idea and convincing the audience that this is a real place in which many unworldly things will take place.
Yeah, we better have a bachelor when we're going, because my ass is frozen to this yak.
I didn't really go to Tibet. We shot up in Mammoth, up in the snow. And I'm from New York, so I'm used to the snow. What's it snow like? Because I've seen pictures and it looks difficult. It's like, snow is no biggie, put a coat on and just do it in the cold.
This is just a reminder of the evening. Something so that you'll know you were here.
The general appearance of a character like this is, to me, vitally important. Because I tend to prefer to work from the inside out. In this particular case, I've worked from the outside in. I've decided what the character looks like. And until I'd thought about what the character could look like, I had really no idea. We had a very good costume designer, Wayne Finkelman, who came up with this elaborate outfit. We have no experience of hell and Beelzebub and his agents. One knows nothing of at all, other than what God-fearing people might have told you. So I have no experience to draw from. I just have to sort of paint a picture and have an image, and you know, the appearance is vitally important. Vital. I mean, it's practically everything.
I was sent to San Francisco for 6 weeks training in martial arts. I started off on a basic, and of course I didn't have time to start off at white belt and work my way up to black belt. I just had to get on with it and do a routine.
We get out of here. Why are you wet? Hey! Oh.
The fight scenes and stuff like that, that's pretty much a dance, you know. A guy comes in and he choreographs a fight and you swing a hand past that and then do that. There's a scene where I get jumped by like 6 guys.
By accident, one of the thugs punched Eddie for real. He really took it on the chin.
And the camera was there, and he was too close to be punched like that. It hit me for real. I'm really punched in the face. Right at that moment, I'm punched in the face.
And we went and did take 2, in which he faked it, snapping his head and the punch coming nowhere near his face. And it looked perfect. And he said, well, what about take 1 where I really got punched? And we said, it didn't look like it. Didn't look good. And the fact is that in a movie, reality never looks as good as the heightened reality that is the magic of making movies.
Stunt guys always tell me, like, you move real good, you know. And that's because I think it's because I'm a younger guy. I'll jump around they have these logs that are about 10 feet above the ground where I'm inside this cave and I'm walking and from log to log. And it's scary to do it. Once you get up there and you get used to it, you know, it's cool, but it's pretty safe. But if something's dangerous, I ain't no Burt Reynolds. I don't say, here, I'm gonna do that myself.
Every picture has its own problems. I think this one, having as many complicated special effects as it does, is hard on me and hard on the actors because we don't see the finished result every day as we go along. We have to wait for many, many months for Industrial Light and Magic to put together the fantastic special effects. We wait for July, August, and September to see these things come to life, and to have to wait that long is the hardest part of the film.
It's really hard to do reactions, like the director come and say, okay, in this scene, you're fighting the devil, and the devil has you by your neck, and you have to act like you're fighting him. And it's no devil, and you stand there with a little skinny guy, and you have to act like you're fighting the devil, and it's this little guy. And that's really hard.
I've really been happy working in America, making Golden Child. It wasn't light work, it was just fun. I suppose also having Eddie around because he's so funny, it was like, for me, it's been like a holiday.
It's gonna wipe that right on your jacket, huh?
I probably would have thought twice about the project if Eddie Murphy had not been attached to it at the time that Paramount offered it to me.
I said, I want the name.
I'm a great admirer of his talent, and because he makes my job easier. And he makes the writer's job very easy in terms of ad-lib dialogue, in terms of seeing a scene in a funny way that wasn't conceived of as a funny scene.
What's different from this picture, the character in this picture and all the other pictures that I've done, is that the character is very compassionate. What's very rewarding about doing any picture is when the picture's successful and people come up and tell you that they say it was a good movie and I laughed or I saw your movie 3 times, and that's the most gratifying thing when you make somebody laugh or when you entertain somebody for a little while.